Symbolism in the Order of the Eastern Star, just for members. The Golden Rule. There are laws that govern the physical phenomena of the universe, such as gravity, inertia, heat, light, sound, and many others. The order is so important that the Supreme Creator manifested it in the vastness of the universe, down to the tiny quarks. Even many scientists believe that protons and neutrons assemble a kind of system with sun, planets, and their moons that repeat an order established only by who has the power to do it. Between them, a kind of melody is produced, a harmony that observes rhythms, silence, movements, like laws that must be reflected from the sky to the smallest particle. Undoubtedly, these laws evoke the idea of an omnipotent legislator who tells us how we should organize ourselves to comply with certain universal laws. Physical laws can be expressed with mathematical equations that some scientists can reproduce. In the human aspect, society imposes rules of conduct on human beings. However, in the spiritual and metaphysical realm, the laws are not so clearly expressed. While in the Order of the Eastern Star we do not require the practice of any specific religion, each of our members seeks God in the tranquility of their own hearts and through their own experiences. These actions imply the act of deep meditation of great importance for the understanding of our work. Every day and every moment we make decisions. The Order urges all its members to act in accordance with the Golden Rule, allowing it to guide us in our deliberations. This rule is observed by many religions. Christianity, therefore all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them. For this is the law and the prophets. Matthew 7:12. Confucianism, don't do to others what you don't want them to do to you. Analects 15:23. Judaism, you will love your neighbor as yourself. Leviticus 19:18. Greek philosophy, do not do to others what you yourself do not want to suffer. Isocrates. Although we know of the solid moral base and good feelings of the members, we recognize that it is necessary to fight day by day with our own human condition. We admit the need to vigorously combat our weaknesses, ignorance, as well as ways of proceeding that are clearly indicated as incorrect. We must work in the silence of our hearts to modify our behavior for the common good, observing the Golden Rule. The religion we profess is not important to lead an ethical and decent life, to be tolerant and respectful. Every member of the Order of the Eastern Star must share this ancient teaching, which augurs a life in physical, mental, and spiritual peace, and a more harmonious society with hope for a better world. Observing the Golden Rule guarantees better interaction with family members, friends, and neighbors. The Golden Rule, called the Ethics of Reciprocity, is a millenary and simple rule of good living that teaches the importance of how to resolve an issue. Therefore, it requires reflection before acting. 7 principles are included in the Golden Rule that keep the laws of the secret wisdom. They are mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and generation. The law of mentalism proposes that everything is mind. It expresses that everything we perceive through our senses is considered part of a universal consciousness, a principle that promotes the idea that before things existed, they were words, and these were thoughts before they were uttered. Therefore, these thoughts, when leaving our mental body, acquire life and interact with us with the power that we have endowed them. In this framework, the Golden Rule takes on special importance for each of us. The law of correspondence is based on the principle that above is below. As it is below, it is above. Or in other words, your will be done as in heaven, so also on earth. Matthew 6:10. A teaching that is considered the second universal principle. It shows that nothing is hidden, and everything we do in the privacy of our own thoughts affects the visible and invisible planes equally. This law works in such an exact way that it gives us back what by right of conscience corresponds and urges us to observe generous acts and thoughts that makes us and others happy. For this reason, whatever you want men to do to you, do it to them, because this is the law and the prophets. The law of vibration starts from the following statement: nothing remains immobile. Everything vibrates, which explains the differences between the multiple expressions of matter, mind, force, and spirit. Even when our senses do not detect a phenomenon, it vibrates and exists. The exact understanding of this principle enables us to control our own mental vibrations. By the law of vibration, we attract towards ourselves and radiate vibrations outwards from ourselves. Whoever renders a service to those in need has a high vibration, and one who radiates positive energies outwards advances on the spiritual path. Generous thoughts, fraternity, love, ideas about God and prayer, they produce spiritual emissions, high vibrations. Love your neighbor as yourself. The law of polarity states, everything is dual. Everything has two poles, but they are the same thing, separated only by a question of degrees. Nothing that exists is totally bad. Even in the most despicable being, some goodness appears. Spirit and matter are poles of the same thing, with intermediate states in different vibrational degrees. We all have the freedom to choose where to direct our energy. Let us select the positive, generous actions, faith, smiles, and good wishes. Love one another. The law of rhythm explains that everything ebbs and flows. In simple words, it expresses that everything manifests and is presented in a back and forth movement, like a pendulum swings between two opposite poles. We cannot prevent this principle from working, but by abiding by other laws, such as the so-called compensation law, we can neutralize its degree of fluctuation, maintaining a certain equilibrium and balance. Let's try to raise our thoughts in the low cycles, decrease serenity, and let the hand of God work. The law of generation expresses that the masculine and feminine manifestation is found in everything, and is manifested both on the physical and spiritual planes. The masculine principle corresponds to the active, conscious, concrete, logical mind. Meanwhile, the feminine principle is analogously the passive, unconscious, abstract, subjective mind. This is a creative principle that generates work. Nothing can exist without the principle of generation manifesting. Each of these principles has a function to fulfill, and they are complementary to each other. Their interaction is what guarantees life. Father and mother merge in unity to engender a new being. Nothing can be generated without the father-mother principle being present. The law of cause and effect postulates that every cause generates an effect. It suggests that nothing happens by chance. Chance does not exist. With our thoughts, words, and deeds, we generate effects. If they are positive, they will attract good things to us. If they are not, we wait to reap the results, the effects of our actions or thoughts. This metaphysical rule exhorts us to reject any negative thought, word, or action, such as hatred, revenge, fear, or failure, and it motivates us to observe feelings, thoughts, and actions that raise our spiritual level. If we apply in our lives the valuable cosmic principles that the Golden Rule enunciates, we will find the key to govern our lives with success and long-awaited happiness. The Golden Rule has a high metaphysical significance. Don't do to others what you don't want them to do to you.